Welcome back. Well, some scary and frustrating moments at an L.A. Police Commission meeting this week as a group of anti-cop agitators are caught on camera disrupting the discussion, trying to silence journalists in the room. The group of activists, known for often shutting down City Hall and police meetings, they ran in, they called cops pigs while they tried to block journalist cameras from the newly formed California Post. The disruptions were so bad, all the police commissioners were escorted from the room. Joining me now is the opinion editor of the newly California Post, Joel Pollak, back with us. Joel, great to see you. Tell us about what happened in this incident involving your colleague.
Well, we sent our colleague Jamie Page to the Los Angeles Police Commission hearing. It's a very important mechanism of oversight for making sure that the police are accountable to the public. And ironically, these anti-police activists showed up to shout at the commissioners and shut down this mechanism that is really supposed to help the cause that they at least pretend to be supporting. And while our reporter was recording all of this, you can see on the video there, the activists got in her face and they attacked her. What we learned as we dug into who these activists are is that some of them were at City Hall at the invitation of a member of the city council for another event. And one of the people who stood up at the meeting and spoke against the police is part of an organization that receives a city grant to distribute needles at MacArthur Park nearby. And wow, that's, of course, a controversial practice, but there's a growing awareness that we are funding these groups that are turning around and destroying our governing institutions, and you see the evidence right there.
Well, it's great that the California Post is putting a spotlight on all of this in California. How's it going? How's the new California Post being received in California?
Well, the reception has been incredible. People are incredibly excited that there's a new publication and that there's an investment in journalism. There's also a huge outpouring of commentary and contributions. I'm being inundated with people's op-eds and opinion articles and letters. People want to have their say, and they feel that they've been ignored for far too long. There are mainstream publications in California, publications that have been around for a long time. Some of them do great work, but they all tend to reflect a common left-of-center perspective. And the California Post brings a broader range of views, right of center, just like the New York Post, but also just seeking to open up the conversation to reflect the views of the reading public, who are often ignored or suppressed even. And it's been very exciting to work alongside these incredible colleagues who've come together. It's very hard to keep up with them because they're just so good at what they do. And this first week has been extremely exciting.
I love it. Congratulations. Kevin, jump in here.
Yeah, Joel, considering you're at the front lines, especially considering that you could be viewed as adversarial to a lot of these protesters, are you guys starting to think about increasing security for your journalists when you go out on assignment like this? I mean, it seems that it's becoming more and more dangerous to start reporting on these events.
When you choose a career in journalism, you know that you're going to write things that people may not like, or if you're a photographer, you may take photographs people may not want you to take. This is part of what you sign up for, and of course nobody deserves to be attacked or assaulted or threatened. But I think my colleagues are pretty tough, and over time I think you'll see that as we restore some balance to the California media landscape, there'll be a broader appreciation in the general public of what we're doing. And in fact, that's part of the great reception we've received from readers. And I think people will be a lot more careful before behaving this way. But it's going to take some time for people to get used to truly independent journalism and commentary, because we simply have lived without it for so long in California. Yeah. So I do think that our success over time in our reporting, our photography, our journalism will be, in fact, our best security.
Yeah, and I just think, you know, you're going to be surprised at the number of moderates and actual Republicans in California who are welcoming the paper. So congrats on that. President Trump, meanwhile, signed an executive order for the federal government to take over the L.A. wildfire rebuild efforts. More than a year after those devastating and deadly fires, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin's going to be in charge of permitting, overriding California officials. California Governor Gavin Newsom and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass have been repeatedly criticized, as you know, for their lack of rebuild efforts. Here's the president yesterday on this. Watch this.
I haven't told this to Lee Zeldin yet, but I'm going to put you in charge of getting permits. I think we're going to override the local authorities because they're never going to have it. And when I was told that there's a provision where you can override the local authority to get things done, because to me, it's a national emergency. What they've done to these people is horrible. Between the mayor and the governor, they're incompetent. They'll never get approved.
Your reaction. The president said that the rebuild efforts are going to fire victims and will not be co-opted by the state to build low-income housing. What do you think about this, Joel?
Well, the president's intervention is a real game changer, and I speak as someone who lives in the affected community. I live in Pacific Palisades, and my house was damaged, but almost everything around my house was destroyed. And many people are struggling with the permit process. They're also struggling with insurance companies, hoping that they can receive the payouts that they're due. And the president coming in and saying, it's going too slowly, we need to speed it up. Whatever you think of President Trump, and most of my neighbors actually voted for Kamala Harris, but whatever you think of him, this is an incredible step toward accountability. The president is saying, effectively, the buck stops with me. I'm going to make sure that there's a federal investment in rebuilding Pacific Palisades, rebuilding the Eaton Fire, Altadena, Pasadena, and Malibu. And this is very important, and it is a national issue because in a few years, the whole world is coming here to see the Olympics. And we cannot have this enormous burn scar sitting on top of Los Angeles, where it looks to the rest of the world like we don't know how to rebuild anything. We don't know how to build anything. We can't overcome bureaucracy. How do we go around the world giving people advice on development when we can't do it in our own backyard? So I think the president has made an investment, and whatever you think of him, whatever you think of the policy, this is a really important lever that residents now have to force accountability at every level of government, and I think it's incredibly hopeful.
Joel, we're going to be following your work closely. We so appreciate you're here this morning. Please come back soon. Thanks so much for joining me, Joel.
Thanks, Maria.
All right, good luck with the California Post. Joel Pollak. We'll be right back.